Obama
relationship is interesting.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, Obama's presidency delivered Trump, and then Biden's presidency delivered Trump stronger than ever. So that Obama-Biden political era, I mean, the net result of it is that Donald Trump is now one of the strongest presidents in the modern American political era.
That was Republican commentator Scott Jennings, leaving the usual liberal panel on CNN completely speechless after he boldly broke down what he sees as the real legacy of the Obama-Biden political era. Jennings argued that years of Democratic leadership delivered division, economic stagnation, and foreign policy weakness, while President Donald Trump, love him or hate him, actually produced measurable results for working Americans. Welcome to MN News, where we cut through the political noise and bring you the conversations the mainstream networks would rather you didn't hear. Tonight's moment was a perfect example. The establishment left once again struggled to defend its record when faced with plain facts and a calm conservative voice. As Jennings pointed out, the American people didn't reject democracy. They used it. They voted for strength, accountability, and policies that put their country first. Yet the same media that once claimed to defend democracy now seems frustrated when voters make choices they don't approve of. And that's exactly what played out live on air. Scott Jennings dismantled a panel of visibly uncomfortable pundits who still refuse to acknowledge that millions of Americans freely and fairly chose Donald Trump because they were tired of excuses and hungry for results.
Where they threaten the success or even the lives of the people in your organization, their careers for sure, if you don't toe the political line. And that is not the way that America has operated for the first 200 some odd years that we were a country. And the question is that the new normal? Are we just going to have a system where Trump tells Harvard or Columbia or the law firm of Johnson & Johnson or the Human Rights Watch that now you agree with everything I say or you lose all your funding and I ruin your organization?
Is that the new normal?
I say that's not good. I say that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Did we have an election last year?
That doesn't justify.
Have one next year, and are we going to have one the next year? I think the democracy is functioning.
We're having free and fair elections.
There you go, you rationalizing it again. Hitler could have had the majority. So what?
Voted for low price eggs,
so what is wrong?
Authoritarianism. There's a difference.
Hamas was elected democratically.
All right. Okay, we're not going to make that comparison at the table.
I just want to note that your Democratic panelists compared Donald Trump's election to Hamas's election.
Just for the record tonight. We are not going to do that at the table tonight.
You can tell this isn't really a debate anymore. It's denial playing out in real time. Scott Jennings calmly laid out what many Americans have been saying for years, and the liberal panel simply couldn't handle it. He reminded everyone that the last election was held under the same laws and systems Democrats once praised. Yet the moment voters picked someone they didn't approve of, the media and political class claimed something was wrong with democracy itself. Jennings made it clear. The people's choice wasn't about personalities, it was about performance. Donald Trump, whether the left likes it or not, earned support from millions because he stood up to the same establishment that had ignored them for decades. That wasn't authoritarianism. That was ordinary Americans taking back their voice. What we saw, and what Jennings highlighted, was a rebellion against a political elite that talks endlessly about fairness, but allegedly can't accept a fair outcome when it doesn't favor them. The Democratic reaction has shown they only seem comfortable with democracy when they're the ones running it. And just when the conversation couldn't get more revealing, Jennings turned his attention to Barack Obama, who recently made another highly political statement that critics say exposes how little Democrats understand the movement that changed the country. Jennings' point was simple. The American people rejected weakness, excuses, and endless division, and they rallied behind a leader who promised to fight for them. Once again, it's not about anger, it's about results. That's the story the mainstream networks still refuse to tell. But here on MN News, we're not afraid to say it. The American people didn't abandon democracy. They rejected a political class that stopped listening.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the most hyper-political and hyper-partisan post-president we've ever had. He's still acting that way. They're not over the fact that Donald Trump won the national popular vote last year. And they keep warning about the same things that they were warning and fussing about during the campaign, to which the American people then responded to. I think Donald Trump is executing every part of his agenda in almost exactly the way that he promised he was going to, up to and including enforcing laws in the United States that have been on the books for a very, very long time that his predecessor chose simply not to execute. You throw that on top of the fact that he's having this extraordinary success on the world stage, and I just think Democrats from Obama on down are having a heck of a time understanding where they went wrong and how Donald Trump has captivated a nation and now the entire world.
You can see it clearly. Former President Barack Obama's latest remarks sounded less like leadership and more like projection. Critics have long claimed that during his time in office, Obama used government power in ways that unfairly targeted conservatives and deepened divisions across the country. Whether you agree or not, that history still shapes how many Americans view his constant attacks on Trump-era policies. As commentator Scott Jennings pointed out, Obama has become one of the most openly political ex-presidents in modern history, and that's exactly why his criticisms fall flat. The truth is, Donald Trump earned support because he delivered. He enforced existing laws that previous administrations allegedly ignored, pushed for real economic growth, and worked toward peace agreements that even Obama's team couldn't achieve. That contrast, action versus talk, is what continues to drive the left crazy. Democrats seem frustrated that Trump didn't just make promises, he kept them. They've built an entire narrative around speeches and symbolism. But Trump showed that real leadership is about results, not applause lines. And that's why, years later, the same media figures who once cheered for Obama still can't stop talking about Trump. His success challenged everything they thought they understood about politics. And it exposed how fragile their version of democracy really was when the people voted differently than they expected. So what do you think? Are establishment Democrats and the media still uneasy because Trump's record of strength continues to reveal their weakness? Let me know your thoughts down below. I read every comment. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss when we call out political spin with the truth they don't want you to hear. Until next time, this has been MN News, where we speak facts, not fear. Thanks for watching.